Hello everyone and welcome back to the Belgian Beer Brothers channel. Cedric here from Antwerp, and today we are gonna talk about the 9th beer in the Brussels Beer Project Advent calendar. So we are surpassing a third, already 8 down, 16 to go. And as you might see, I have invested in some proper glassware today. I passed by the local beer shop. They had these glasses. They weren't cheap, so Brussels Beer Project. I'd say you owe me, but you helped me out quite a bit with the B-Post debacle. So today, number 9. Let's clean things up here a bit. Down here, a can. Haven't had that in a while. This is only our second can, I believe. I just hope that it's not another IPA, because we've had 5 IPAs in 8 beers, so. Aha. 301 Helles. Brussels Beer Project, of course. Alcohol 5% ABV. Trial cryo hop 301 dry hopped Helles. So this is a Helles lager. Now, what a Helles lager is, it's actually a style, and it's the predecessor of Pilsner beers. So it's a, how can I say this, a rather pale, bright straw gold yellow beer. Most of the time quite low in alcohol, around 5%, 4.5 maybe, 5.5. Pardon me. Not very outspoken when it comes to taste, so slightly sweet, slightly bitter, quite neutral. And the name actually comes from Helles. Hell is German for bright or pale or light, I believe. So ein hellgrüne is bright green, for example. And I do see here that it says trial cryo hop 301 dry hopped Helles. So I am thinking this is a Helles lager, dry hopped of course, with a new hop. And I have read about Yakima Chief, the American hop supplier that Brussels Beer Project works with quite often. Frankly, that we all work with very often, because they're pretty much the biggest in the world. They made a new hop variant, the 301, and there's this new procedure, well, it's a few years old, but a new procedure called cryo, where they actually flash freeze or freeze dry the hop pellets, which means that they're a lot cheaper in transport and in stock, because you only need half. Let's say we normally need 20 kilograms, now we need 10 kilograms for the same outcome. But of course they are a bit more expensive to buy. So, okay, very curious. Now, what does the can tell us? Only barley malt. Beer Project is about pushing taste to new boundaries and pushing ourselves out of status quo. Experimenting is key to our DNA, and the point is to share the fun of playing with beer. We've already heard that, and well, they're right. Pilsner malts and Munich malts. Well, the Helles style was actually native to South Germany and a part of Austria, and mainly Bavaria and Munich, for example. So Munich malt isn't that far of a stretch. Yeast W3470. Let's not go into that, because I don't know crap about it. And hops, Calista hop, Simcoe hop, and Yakima Chief 301 Trial. That's the cryo one. So I'm guessing Calista as a bitter hop, and Simcoe and the 301 as dry hops. And since this is a Helles which is a lager, which leans close to Pilsner. I think I'm going to use this new a burke, as we say, or a vaasje in Holland. Yeah. Let's see how this goes. Ooh. Seems like the cans are all gonna be gushing. I did keep it still this time, so. One big benefit is that this is a 44 centiliter can and a 25 centiliter glass. So I can have two today. There we go. Also like this glass, the baby blue logo, the waves in here. Very simple yet very pretty. And for that price, it can be pretty. So bear in mind the name Helles or Hell. Bright, pale, light. Ticks all boxes. This is indeed a very light, pale, let's say golden yellow beer. Very white foam, large bubbles, it's gonna dissipate quite quickly. Pretty active, as we've noticed when opening. And I do get a lot of hop aroma here. I might recognize the Simcoe smell, which is quite outspoken, but that's probably because I read on the can that it's in there. I'm not that master nose that just smells any kind of hop. At best I can give you a range, that's it. Okay, this is indeed a very, very light, a very thin beer. Almost tastes watered down, but you do get extra aroma, mainly bitter aroma, mainly bitterness from the dry hopping. And unfortunately, don't get me wrong, this is a well-made beer, but unfortunately it's the kind of bitterness that I'm not that much of a fan of. This is a very aggressive dry hopping, and I would blame that on the Simcoe probably. But it's like, if you've ever chewed on a hop pellet, you'll exactly know what I mean. Nonetheless, a nice beer, pretty bright in looks as well as in taste, and because it's a dry hop lager, it kind of reminds me of the Super Catix by Antwerpse Brew Company, but that one is way more well-rounded. But that one also has a double fermentation. I believe it has more malts, so we shouldn't really be comparing those. Yeah. I do think that this is a very welcome variation. We started out with 5 IPAs, a sour, and a saison, and what else was in there? So I'm just glad it's not an IPA again. Nonetheless, it is a dry hopped beer, so I'm very curious as to what we're gonna see tomorrow. But I would very much like something completely different. Well, of course I can't complain, because yeah, we've already had a stout as well. But you know what I mean. So this is the 6th dry hopped beer out of 9, which is a yeah, it's a bit much for me. The hop aromas do lie down when you drink a bit more. And that is of course the beauty of these thin beers with only about 5% alcohol. Like I said, 2. The nice thing about these is that you can just have another one. Don't worry, it's not an 11% pastry stout or a 13% Trappist or something. Okay, the verdict. I'd say it is a well-made beer, but BBP doesn't make crap, so we already established that. Not my cup of tea. It's a bit too dry hopped. It's a bit too plain. Let's say 5.5. 5.5. I'm guessing that if I want a beer like this, I'll just have a Pilsner. And if I want something dry hopped, I'll probably have an IPA. In the same price range and the same alcohol range, there's enough choice. The bar where I work, for example, we have the Jack's Precious IPA from the Musketeers. Not much higher in alcohol, also dry hopped. And if I want a great Pilsner, I'll have a that. So with all the choice there is at the moment, I don't really see the need for this. Let's keep it at that. Okay, on that note, I'm gonna leave you guys. I'm gonna finish this, and don't get me wrong, I am gonna enjoy it because it's not a bad beer. You know the drill. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you have anything to say or to ask, let me know in the comments. And I will see you guys tomorrow for number 10. Almost halfway. Cheers, you guys.